Hi there, this is Catherine. Thanks you for listening to my SEO Tips micro podcast. So, before we get into today's SEO tip, I just wanted to share with you the ways you can support the podcast if you're enjoying all the tips and finding them useful. So, you can send me a donation at buymeacoffee.com/Catherine W. Ong, O-N-G, and that's Catherine with a K. Any and all levels of donation are appreciated. It will help me offset the cost of producing the podcast. So, that's buymeacoffee.com/Katherinewong. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to our email list to make sure you're not missing any future episodes or any other news about the SEO Tips podcast. And to do that, you'd go to wostrategies.com/newsletter. Okay, on with today's tip.
Did you know that you can measure traffic to your podcast from Google search? Hello, thanks for listening to SEO Tips today. This tip came from a Twitter thread that I responded to started by Will Reynolds, where he expressed concern about Google's new display and playable podcast options in search taking traffic from podcast publishers. And I shared with everyone in the thread that not only can you measure the traffic from Google search to your podcast in Google's Podcast Manager account, but that often your podcasting host has an option for you to see where the traffic's coming from. I use Spreaker for this podcast, for instance, and I can see that 2 listens were from Chrome's WebView and 12 have come from Google Podcasts. Anyway, so that's your tip for today. If you have a podcast, sign up for a Google Podcast Manager and pay for a distribution service that gives you metrics on your listeners. Thanks for listening. Come back tomorrow for another SEO tip.